Hello, bus. Missed you. Turn these lights up. There we go. Had a little break. Set the mood in here. There we go. Now we're talking. Get back at you in a minute. Gotta get my stuff out of the Suzuki and oh man, I left the window open over there. That's no good. Hopefully the mosquitoes don't know I'm in here. They will find me soon. Close that sucker up. Any more? I do not see any more windows open. That's good. Okay. See you in a minute. Good morning, everybody. Just here at the shop, like usual. Looks like it might rain today. I hope not. Still haven't went in and said hi to Floyd yet. I did see his little self walking through the shop. I went and got my coffee because obviously I need to wake up a little bit. Anyway, had decent sleep last night. I had to wake up and turn the AC on one more time just because it was so humid. Started sweating. But within 10 or 15 minutes, the whole bus was cold again, so ran that temporarily and then shut it off. Woke up a few times through the night. Definitely woke up on the floor again. That air mattress has got a serious leak somewhere. I gotta find it, but it's all good. Anyway, I will get back at you in a second and let you know what we're doing. Alright, so I got a little bit of a game plan now. After BSing with Floyd for a minute, I'm gonna head over to Fastenal and get a whole bag of stainless steel bolts. Longer ones than what we had, some carriage bolts to fasten down a deck, and then hit Lowe's on the way back and get some decking boards, provided they're comparable to the price at Home Depot. So yeah, I'm gonna get our back deck buttoned up so we can put the generator in and mount that down. I'm also gonna look while I'm there for a generator cover. So yeah, I'm a little bit stressed out, obviously, for obvious reasons. I didn't break the window, so that's good. So this just barely fit in there. It's been nice to have a pickup, but I'm not gonna bother anybody for that. Spent another about $130 in between wood and bolts and nuts and washers. Have to spend another probably 40 bucks in a couple months once this stuff dries out, if it ever stops raining here. And it looks like it's going to be a good fit. I'm going to have to trim a little off the edge, of course. So yeah, I got 6 decking boards, about 130 bucks. Stainless steel bolts, lock washers, flat washers, and nuts. And yep, traffic, rain, humping it, trying to get this thing done, fit on there. So it's gonna be a little bit loose, so I'll probably have gaps, which is fine because drainage. I don't want water puddling up there. Yeah. about a 1/4 inch gap in between each one. It's gonna look good. So yeah, that's essentially a rear deck, unfinished. I'm gonna put the leftover aluminum I got, hopefully have enough to skirt this whole thing all the way around. That'll give it a nice finished look, and also raise it up to flush with the edge here. So I'll have like a little inlay to set the wood into. Anyway, next question. Oh, just enough room to open that door. So I definitely need to bolt these down on those cross members. And oh man, I might have mismeasured that. Need one on each end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Another 12 here, 24, okay. I got enough bolts. Went to Fastenal for my bolts, and they didn't have the 3/8 thickness. They had 14 of them. I need 24 of them. So I just threw my hands up in the air. Don't want to wait. Got myself a 5/16 bit. 25 carriage bolts. 100 5/16 nuts. So that makes me think that that's how we're gonna fasten down our roof deck as well. And I'll probably put wood on the roof too, just because it's a cheaper option. Otherwise, I'm spending like 3 times as much. I would have to spend like $500 or $600 on composite decking. I don't trust that stuff to be weathered and everything like that. I've got to refinish wood or recoat wood in the future. That's not a big deal. But if I start getting split decking boards, I don't think they'll warrant that used in this application. So now that that's done, put my seat back up, knock my toolbox back down. Excuse me guys, sorry this video's a little funky. It's just the way it is. I'm gonna go inside the bus here and make myself some lunch. Now, I don't know, 12 something, so it's about lunchtime. And I'll catch you guys on the other side of this. That's better. Some turkey cheese sandwich, a bag of Doritos, soda in the back. That ought to make me feel better. Anyway, I'll do my lunch and then get to work. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Finished raining, so that means the sun has something to boil now. I'm just getting started. My sawhorse. Gotta work out here in the sun because wood's gotta take off, get his fittings for this plumbing that he needs done. So I'm just getting started now. And I cut the skirt that goes around the back of the rear deck and screw that in place. I need to get it under there with some OSPO and spray that and hope that it sets up so I can do rusty metal primer on top of that and seal that all once and for all. That way I don't have to worry about it later. And yeah, I'm sweating my butt off already. So yeah, doesn't matter what time I wake up in the morning, there's always some errands to run first. But it's all good, I'm not sweating it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, building this bus of ours. And yeah, I'll try to set up a time lapse if my battery doesn't die. Just having one of those days, a manic Monday. It is what it is. Bus life. Hashtag pain in the ass. Hashtag freedom isn't free. Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. Lots of stuff. Oh boy, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. Oh, my wood's gone. Where did it go? a big old piece of plywood out here, and now I think it is missing. They put it up against the fence. I don't know. Just one of those days. I do not see it anywhere. Whatever. We'll just set this up the best way I can then. Wish me luck. See you on the other side of this. Well, that was a beast. So, these bolts here are not big enough. See if I can get focus on that. Anyway, those bolts aren't long enough. I need a good another ½ inch. Might as well just get 4-inch carriage bolts. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get them. I'm gonna go over to Home Depot and try, because we've got 1.5 inches here and about 1.16 inches here. So another almost quarter inch, I guess quarter inch there. So 3 inches ain't gonna cut it. I tried to get 3.5 inch, and I don't think that's what I got. Let me see here, just so I don't sound stupid. Yeah, 3 inch. So It worked on the edges, and I'd say there's enough grab there with the lock washers for it to stay in place. But definitely I'm going to need to fasten it to this frame, because that's the most important part. So longer bolts on that. I went with 5/16 because Fastenal didn't have a 3/8. It's only a 16-inch difference. And I feel like, you know, enough of these bolts in here. I've got 24 of them holding this deck in place. Through the decking, through the square tubing, and down through this piece of frame that we keyholed through there. So yeah, all in all, it's solid. That thing ain't going nowhere. I'm curious to see how the ends are gonna hold up. It should be just fine with the weight of the generator on there with a full tank of gas. If it isn't, we will have to figure out some kind of brace system off of the bumper. But I am overall satisfied with the outcome. This thing is awesome. See, I mean, it's got a little flex, but nothing worth writing home about. Carriage bolts in the center. I think I did a good job with the skirting. You gotta come around here with a flap disc, sand these corners rounded, probably sand those rounded. I don't know, maybe put a piece of, get Floyd to weld a little tiny piece of angle on the corner there, because that's pretty sharp. But it's skirted, and I think it looks sexy. So, rear deck, pretty much complete, other than putting in those longer bolts and waiting about, I'd say, a couple weeks at least to put on some Thompson's water seal. It's already dried out from the condition that it was in. It's pressure treated. It was really soggy in the rack and in Lowe's. But by the time the sun hit it for a while, which will be consistent, you know, when it's not pouring down rain, the sun comes and just boils everything. So yeah, I'm really excited about this. Very happy. You can see there, it kind of countersunk. It started to dig in. I may go in there and impact them down a little further to try to get that to happen everywhere, because the tighter the better. But yeah, I mean, if you look, there's a gap there, and that's where the frame is. So definitely need longer bolts there so I can suck them up with the nuts down below. But yeah, freaking sweet. Just a little hop, skip, and a jump, and I'm on the deck. Really, really happy about this. And I think Floyd will be proud of me when he comes tomorrow. He came out here when I was just getting started and nodded his head and walked off and left me to it. And had a few catastrophes at first. Not catastrophes, but just snags. You know, I'm not the most organized person, and I don't have a shop to keep everything organized. So, I mean, if you look around on the ground, I got tools and scraps of wood scattered and everything. But because these planks are 5.5 inches, Floyd was like, oh, just stick a 1/4 inch shim in there. Well, I don't have 1/4 inch shims. I don't feel like going to get them. So what I did, I stuck a little floor tile down in there. If you look at the time lapse, you'll see me doing that. And I did one at a time, starting in the center and then doing the edges. And then I've got a consistent gap that'll give me water runoff, and it pretty much comes flush. It's a little bit, look in there, there's a little bit of that frame showing, but it's nice and snug up against the edge here. I did have a bow in it at first in this piece of wood that started, so I definitely need to clamp it in place. Clamped it there, put my tile in, did the next one, so on and so forth. So yeah, you get a little innovative when you don't have everything you need. It's already expensive enough as it is, doing all this stuff in aluminum. But yeah, very happy. with the results from today. I am a sweaty mess right now. I'm gonna down probably about a gallon of cold water and then follow up with an ice cold beer. Put some stuff under here to store it. Look at that, using our under storage already. Doesn't even have a door on it, still dirty in there. But I might as well make use of it. Yes, sir. Need a piece of plywood for there, that reminds me. A couple pieces of angles to get the body cinched in place. It's going to be interesting when it's time to paint this thing. I guess I'm just going to have to leave the bumper and I don't know. Or maybe, no, I guess I can paint it from underneath. Yeah, get under there with a sprayer and paint underneath. I still need to rusty metal primer all of that. But if you look behind me, our little generator is going to get mounted on the rear deck there very soon, now that it's in place. So, I think I'm going to do that, drink a whole bunch of water and hydrate, and then head over to the orange store or Lowe's. I don't know, I think the orange store has a little bit more in the way of bolts and fasteners and stuff, so head over there, we'll see what they got in the way of longer bolts. If not, I'll have to put in a special order with Fastenal and make that work. Damn, it gets dark over here. This thing, it has its own exposure and it has to be pointed right at my face. Just trying to clean up and talk to you guys at the same time. So, this is just a preview of what I have to do up there. And up there it is, well, that's 3 foot. It's 4 times the size of this. So 8 by 12 up there. This is a 3 by 12. 4 times the amount of bolts. If you do the math, that's 96. That's 100 bolts more. So 4 times that, that's about $300 in bolts. Ouch. That really hurts to say. But it is what it is. This is the life we chose. This is the schoolie we want to build. Cutting no corners and putting in a very fancy deck system that we will incorporate our ladder into, incorporate our rear hatch into, incorporate a lot of fun into. So I can't wait to get that up there. Still need to find somebody locally, hopefully, that can roll out some flat bar for us so we can make really cool brackets. I forget who did it, but I saw them on Instagram and I'm going to copycat their idea. They basically follow the radius up the side from the top of the windows, probably about 18-inch pieces, maybe even 2-foot pieces, and they follow the radius, the curve, well, yeah, they follow the curve and then welded studs into the center of that on an angle and have them go straight up at a 90 to meet up with your decking system. And I feel like for weight bearing, load bearing stuff, the curve, top of a curve obviously has more strength than just a flat part. So it makes sense, physically speaking, using physics and logic. Hopefully I've got a little bit of that left. So yeah, borrowing some ideas here and there, coming up with my own in other ways. Definitely getting Floyd's advice when I can. He always says, well, you're going to do whatever you want anyway. And I said, yeah, it's true, but at the same time, I do appreciate your knowledge and advice and wisdom on these subjects. And I know that he's enjoying helping me through this process. So that's it, I guess. Until tomorrow, I'm going to continue cleaning up this mess. Get up underneath that hose over there and soap up, rinse off, get in my bathing suit. It's much cooler than these dirty ass jeans. And yeah,
get involved in something else tomorrow. Not sure what, because this is kind of a big undertaking, and I pretty much finished it up. So beyond getting those longer bolts, that's pretty much it for the rear deck. I'm really happy with it. I think it'll be fine to put the weight of our mini bike on this side and mount our generator down on this side. I've got to order a cover. I'm just going to get a like a vinyl waterproof cover for the generator. I can get like a fancy one that says Champion on the side, you know, but it's got an elastic on it, and we're just going to fasten that down nice and tight and hope that nobody comes to steal it. But if they do, no big deal. We needed it for Hurricane Irma, and we did use it. Living in Sebring, we were probably the worst hit area, and we fared pretty well, but it was definitely pretty devastating. And we lost our carport cover. This is when Karen and I still lived in the house before we sold it, and the shed jumped off of its foundation, and all the walls and ceiling of the shed just ended up in the neighbor's yard. And luckily I Tetrised everything in there just so, and believe it or not, the whole shed took off with the wind, and everything that was inside the shed stayed stacked up the way I had stacked it. So it helps to use Tetrising when doing stuff like that and preparing for big storms and stuff. So I apply that same logic to this bus build and pray that it works out in my favor the way that that did. Anyway, this is getting really expensive, but I don't think we have a whole lot left as far as expenditures go. Of course, we will need to get a solar system. Of course, we will need a battery bank. I'm researching like crazy to see what I can do about that. I'm kind of considering 6-volt golf cart batteries in series, or in parallel, I guess. No, I guess it would be in series, and it adds them up, and to do 8 of those, which will give us a 48-volt system that we can then invert to 12-volt and DC. So yeah, I don't know too much about that, but I am doing the research and finding some alright deals out there. Things are getting cheaper every day in the way of solar power, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully by the time we're ready for that, the price will drop even more. But it is what it is, you know. We need this to be off-grid capable. We don't want to go and stay in campgrounds all the time, although it will be a luxury here and there. And let's see how this works. Oh! I put the phone in the little gap of the deck so I could roll this cord up. That's pretty cool. No tripod needed. So yeah, like I was saying, this project is pretty expensive. Any schoolie converter out there knows. It's got to be very innovative to create something worthwhile and that'll hold its value. And we don't want to cut too many corners doing this kind of stuff, especially when it comes to the infrastructure of it, the solar, things like that. So yeah, some big expenses on the horizon, but not too bad. Still got to get paint for this thing. Still need to mount down our roof deck. There's a whole lot to do. Still got to build the inside and do the plumbing. Pretty much have all my PEX fittings already. So a lot of the stuff we've already purchased, and it's just a matter of putting it in now, which makes me happy because that stuff was expensive. I'm glad I bought it in the beginning when we had a full budget, because now we're struggling. Anyway, I'm gonna get some water. Like I said, it's just room temperature at this point because the sun just bakes this thing, and all the ice melted from last night when I bought it. And yeah, leave the GoFundMe down below. Haven't received any donations, and that's okay. People have their own issues to deal with, but we're at a point right now where we could really use some help. So if you've got it and you could throw us a few bucks, that would be awesome. If not, we appreciate your support regardless. Thanks for watching. I'm here creating a utopia for Karen, myself, and our dogs, and I hope to inspire others with these videos and show you that utopia is possible. It doesn't look easy at all, and it's not easy, and it's a lot of work, and I may just be spinning my wheels with the name, but I'm looking for a perfect life, and a lot of that involves what we're doing here, creating a home on wheels that we own outright, that we get rid of the mortgage, get rid of the utility bills, and just be free enough to travel and adventure and experience life as it was intended. That being said, this is Jeremy, giving you another update. Dripping. Appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.